European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated it is the right time to consider a formal mandate to negotiate with Russia during a closed-door meeting with the European leaders on Thursday. Israel and Hezbollah agreed on a sudden ceasefire following a day of intense fighting in southern Lebanon that threatened to derail the wider peace accord signed between the United States and Iran.
Summer is off to a flying start and Spain is bracing itself for several days of extreme heat.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated it is the right time to consider a formal mandate to negotiate with Russia during a closed-door meeting with European Union leaders on Thursday. While stressing that Kiev must remain in the driving seat of any diplomatic process, von der Leyen maintained that economic indicators prove Western sanctions are successfully forcing the Russian economy to run out of steam.
And this is why Europe
The high-level summit in Brussels turned controversial after it emerged that European Council President Antonio Costa had secretly instructed his chief of staff to open a communication channel with a senior Kremlin aide. The move left many member states in the dark, prompting a sharp backlash from eastern flank nations who insist the bloc must double down on sanctions rather than engage with Moscow. President von der Leyen defended the diplomatic outreach on Friday, asserting that Europe must be one of the central architects of a just and lasting peace.
notably.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told the gathered leaders that a ceasefire without firm security guarantees is not enough, reiterating that Kyiv will not cede its sovereign territory. Ukrainian authorities announced that Russian drones struck two foreign-flagged civilian ships in the Black Sea on Thursday night, killing one person and injuring 5 others. Deputy Prime Minister Oleksiy Kuleba confirmed the attacks hit one vessel flying the flag of St. Kitts and Nevis and another Panamanian-flagged ship, leaving one sailor in a critical condition. Kyiv described the maritime incident as direct warfare against the freedom of navigation, though local officials confirmed both vessels were able to move again following the strikes. The naval bombardment occurred amid a wider wave of overnight Russian assaults, including a strike in Odessa that caused a fatal fire at a truck parking lot. Separate drone and guided bomb attacks across southern and eastern regions also left multiple civilians injured, hitting a minibus in Kherson and damaging 40 homes in Kharkiv. Ukraine's Air Force stated local defenses successfully shot down 79 of 90 incoming drones following a significant Ukrainian strike on a Moscow oil refinery earlier in the week. Israel and Hezbollah have agreed on a sudden ceasefire following a day of intense fighting in southern Lebanon that threatened to derail the wider peace accord signed between the United States and Iran. The truce, mediated by Qatar, the US and Iran, was implemented after intense clashes forced the cancellation of high-level diplomatic talks between Tehran and Washington scheduled in Switzerland. The escalation peaked on Friday as an Israeli bombardment hit over 80 targets, killing at least 47 people and wounding 97 others across Lebanon, according to health officials. Hezbollah rocket attacks also killed 4 Israeli soldiers, prompting hardline National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir to demand extreme military retaliation. While the ceasefire has taken effect, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated Israeli forces will remain positioned in the occupied security zone for as long as required. Military spokesperson Brigadier General Efi Defrin confirmed that troops continue to operate within a forward defense zone, maintaining full operational freedom to counter emerging threats if the truce is violated. Norway's parliament briefly became part of the World Cup spectacle after politicians performed the viral Viking row inside the chamber to support the national football team. The synchronized performance was led by Speaker Masoud Gharkhani, who used his official gale to dictate the rowing rhythm from the podium. The popular fan tradition has spread rapidly beyond the stadiums, with Norwegian supporters filmed performing the row on streets and escalators across the United States. The wave of national pride follows Norway's 4-1 victory over Iraq in their opening game on Tuesday, marking the country's first appearance in the tournament since 1998. To launch the historic campaign, the entire football squad previously took part in a specialized dramatic photo shoot themed around arriving longship warriors.